the reason so many conservatives and red-pilled young people do find Tate attractive is because the right has failed to retain or conserve, if you will, not to make a bad pun about conservatives, conserve the definition of what is true masculinity. We've allowed the left to attack it and warp it and feminize it and twist it and demonize it and all of that. And we haven't fought for what is it? What is the definition of real masculinity? And so these young men who are being attacked by our culture are very vulnerable to just hearing the strongman argument that, oh, if I'm strong enough that someone fears me, that's the same as respect. If I'm rich enough that I can do what I want, I can avoid the system. And instead, we've lost sight of, okay, well, let's define what masculinity is. So I'd like to ask you what your thoughts, what is masculinity?
Well, I would say that the masculinity that Andrew Tate espouses, I think generally is the exact thing that men need to hear. I couldn't think any way that you would deviate from what he preaches to people in the last 3 years consistently ever since I started watching him. It was, do not make excuses. A man should suffer. A man shouldn't make excuses. A man should make enough money so they could be independent, not to be having to go along with what the deep state, with what the matrix tells them to do. We all know that's true. We can all agree on that. And then additionally, one step further, be a provider for your family. How many deadbeats out there are there, Liz, that have been created by this system? So be a provider, make money, have a job that you have pride in, work hard, go to the gym, have a healthy body, because when you have a healthy body, you have a healthier mind and you're harder to control. He is the perfect antidote and gives the perfect pushback prescriptively to all the things that these New World Order people want to push along on men. I haven't heard anybody else do it. So when it comes to being a man, what is masculinity? Not making excuses, waking up every day and doing things that are hard, suffering because you need to, because it's your duty as a man, providing for your family, protecting your woman. Andrew Tate has said so many times, listen, here's the deal. It's traditional gender roles. It's biblical, Liz. We're both Christians. He says, you know, as a woman, you have these roles, I have these roles, and I would die for my woman. I would take a bullet if somebody invaded our house. I would defend the home to the death. And that's my role as a man, and a woman would do her roles as a woman. So I think he's actually preaching these things that are like biblically accurate when it comes to a man's role, providing for their family, working hard, being strong, and most importantly, and this is what I think is the most important thing and why I am a big fan, not being easy to control. You and I, again, we agree, you said this at the beginning, we agree on 95% of the stuff. We understand that they're trying to push things on our society that are totally, totally absurd. They're trying to push vaccine passports. They're trying to restrict our movements. They're trying to make us take experimental jabs. They're messing with the food supply and all these things. They don't want us working out. They want us to live in little pods and be unhealthy fat losers. That's what they want. Andrew Tate is the perfect pushback on that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that if you make money and you're successful, you can have nice cars and have boats and houses. And what's wrong with that? We always celebrate that as success in America. Conservatives always look at that and say, wow, that's aspirational. I want to be like that. And liberals candidly say, oh, I should take something like that. We need to find a way to tax that. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a role model. I think when you have a lot of nice things, I don't think it's like this dark pit of materialism. I think it's something to aspire to. So I think that the guy has an ironclad mind. He works very hard. He trains very hard. And he's done things that I think as men, young men out there, they can aspire to be. And I do believe that that redemption story and the way that he's grown is a perfect path for young men to follow in the footsteps of.